Alright, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing your daily Walking Dead video for today. In this one, we're going to start with, in the Q&A, a question, which is, whose ghost would we rather see if we could only pick one for the second half of The Walking Dead Season 7? Would we go with Glenn or Abraham? And spoiler warning, as usual, for The Walking Dead if you're not caught up. So if we could only pick one, who would it be? Who would we go with? And do we think they're actually going to do it? So again, this is not really spoilers for the second half of Season 7. This is something that we've kind of discussed since the premiere episode, since Season 7. And I don't know one way or another whether or not we're going to get to see a hallucination sequence for either one of these characters. We kind of already did get to see one sort of anyway, because in the Season 7 premiere, we did have kind of the dinner, the Last Supper, so to speak, where you have, both of them get smashed off and everything, and, Glenn and Abraham get their heads bashed in. And we kind of have the dream wish fulfillment sequence where you see everybody happy and, everyone's dressed up all nice in Alexandria having a big dinner and stuff like that. And you got the baby and stuff like that, and you've got Glenn and Abraham and Maggie and all the rest. And it's probably one of the best scenes in the entire episode. I thought it was really cool in the premiere. That's one thing about the premiere that was really good, is that they filmed a lot of different potential sequences, like potential characters getting smoked with Lucille, getting Lucille'd, and that sequence as well there to kind of make us feel the impact of what just happened and kind of that dream getting shattered. So we've kind of already seen one type of hallucination type sequence for the viewer with these two in it, of course, but I personally think we got to see some more. I mean, when we saw Shane and Lori get killed off, they had kind of like a dedicated hallucination sequence. You had Shane who Rick sees Martinez and he's walking with, like a shotgun or something, and he kind of pictures it being Shane. And then of course we had the same with Lori, which there was even a deleted scene that showed her as a zombie. They used Lori a lot, which was good because it's Rick's wife, so you'd expect to see her quite a bit. You'd expect for him to have some PTSD and really be kind of out of shape after that happened, and it was handled really well, I thought, with that sequence, especially when you have Tyrese and his small group that comes and is there's a possibility of them joining the prison group, and then you see Lori show up on the banister at the top, and Rick kind of loses his mind. So that was really well done. This half, I mean, if I could only pick one of the two, I think I definitely have to go with Glenn. I would rather see Glenn. Nothing against Abraham. I think Abraham, awesome character, huge character in the series. But of course, with him, the relationships kind of changed. You had him and Rosita, and then you had him and Sasha, which was kind of just getting started. It wasn't really like a long-term relationship or anything like that. So we get the sense that yes, Sasha and Rosita both really cared for Abraham. It's hard to say who would care for him more. Maybe Rosita, but possibly Sasha too, because of the future, the possibility of her and him being together long term. But man, it'd be really cool to see from Maggie's perspective in this second half, at least one sequence where she's kind of, somehow hallucinating seeing Glenn. Something in maybe the hilltop, don't know, just something of the sort where, she hallucinates and they get Stephen Yeun to come back and do like one scene or something to see Glenn in the second half. That would really be cool to see, and I think it would make whatever episode they put it in even better than the episode is. It's little things like that, I think, that if they put those in, and they did some of that. They had a touch with Season 7's first half where, Rick mentions that Judith is not his, and kind of a tie back to that earlier. And again, that was something that elevated an episode, made it even better than it would have been otherwise. So I'd really like to see a hallucination sequence. I really want to see one, and I'm hoping to see one this half. I'm hoping they don't let me down. And if it's my choice, I'd prefer to see Glenn than Abraham. Preferably, but I mean, if you could do both, and then do both. But definitely would like to see Stephen Yeun come back to do either a dream or hallucination or something. So write your comments below on which you guys would rather see, be it Glenn or Abraham, and we'll do some more of your guys' questions. Next one's from Ashley of Naath, who says, do you think we will ever get to see a payoff scene from the tainted pig meat? that was too crafty of an idea for something not to come of it. Matter of fact, if it never came back around, it would seem like a waste of time. So yeah, that's a good point actually, and I think we will probably see something this half. Like, could they have like some kind of illness? Because if you think about it, back at the prison, the suspicion was that maybe one of the pigs had given them something, and then it caused like some kind of Spanish flu or something in the prison, killing Patrick and a whole bunch of the others. So Rick and the others, they kind of slaughtered the pigs, if you guys remember. Like, there was a scene where him and Carl are going around, right, and they kind of like just feed them to the dead or whatever they were doing. And man, that's going way back to like season 4, if you guys remember that. So I think we will see something like that. I think that Richard actually came up with a pretty good idea, and we could see maybe some of the saviors get sick and some of them just start dying. You know, they do have their doctor and stuff like that as well, so he might be able to help save some of them, but it certainly could slow them down, and I think we will see that touched on again. Otherwise, like you said, it'd be a total waste. And usually with Gimple, he doesn't usually put things in on accident or things in that don't mean something or aren't important. So usually everything you see has some kind of ramifications or some kind of meaning to it. Rick Grimes says, one of the role players, Trev, why is the Walking Dead fandom so shitty? So I think he's talking about us. So as fans, why are we so shitty? Are we bad fans? This is the thing, like with the videos, the past week or so. Yeah, some of them got a little bit, a tiny bit negative, with the different questions and stuff. But I felt like they were all necessary. I felt like is The Walking Dead dying was a really good question to answer, was a really good thing to ponder on. Whether or not the series is starting to die out for hardcore fans of the show, it's something that we think about. Like, is the show going to get better? Has it already reached its peak? Is it going to fade out now? Is it going to continue? These things are important to us as kind of hardcore fans. So that's why I did that. I didn't do it to just hate on The Walking Dead or just, try to turn people off from The Walking Dead or try to be detrimental to the series. I'm sure I've done more to promote The Walking Dead than, almost anyone, right? With all the videos I made over the last 7 years and, everything. I mean, I always promote the series, always do right by the show and try to be a good fan of it. And most of you guys do too. But that's okay that sometimes we point out things that maybe are a bit negative or there's some things we don't like or, I don't think that's too bad. So I don't think we're that bad of fans. I mean, I've seen other communities too. Like, for example, the Breaking Bad community was much worse when I used to do Breaking Bad reviews. UFC community is terrible because they're all meathead fight heads, right? So they're all total jerks to everybody, ready to kill each other all the time. Yeah, so I don't think The Walking Dead is that bad. I'm sure there's much worse communities out there. So Andy Guadalupe says, how much screen time do you think Negan will have in the back half of Season 7? So he should have a bit. He might not have as much as his first half. This first half, he had a lot of screen time. Maybe, did he have more than Rick? We'd have to compare and kind of see. But I wouldn't be surprised if he actually had more than Rick this half. He had a lot of screen time. The second half, I'm thinking probably not quite as much, but he might show up in 3-4 of the episodes, something like that. Have some few sequences here and there. Of course, near the beginning, we've got to see him get all pissed off because Daryl's missing and all that. So, yeah. And then there was one that kind of trolled me a bit who said, unsubscribed a while back because I'm tired of hearing you call women chicks, babes, and now chickies. 411, we're women and plenty of men will love seeing a baby born and flourish too. Gave you more chances, but you just can't stop. I pissed somebody off. Not my intention. Sorry. Not sorry. Strike a pose. If you get offended by something like that, obviously I kid around a lot in videos. I have fun because this is a hobby. This is not my job, okay? I already have a job that I work too much as it is. This has got to be fun for me. If the channel's not fun for me, I'm not going to do it because that's all there is to it. It's a hobby. It's for fun. I know there are people that try to make a living on YouTube. That's not my deal. I just love doing this with you guys. I'm totally addicted to it. I've been doing it for over 7 years now, and I enjoy it. So if I pissed you off by joking around, I apologize, but, lighten up. Why so serious? Lighten up a little bit. Storm Shadow says, Q&A, so far, do you like Fear's first half better than the original Walking Dead's first half? So, to compare, so I think he wants to, hear me compare Season 7's first half to Season 2's first half from Fear. I mean, obviously, I enjoy The Walking Dead more. It's the original. It's what everybody's here for. But Fear's done a pretty damn good job as well, too. Fear's not doing bad, and you could actually say, like, with this season, discussing hype, I saw a few comments, just a few, of some people were like, I'm more excited for Fear than I am for Walking Dead. So that was something that's really different. Like to see Walking Dead second half of season 7, they're more excited to see Fear. For me, I enjoy the hell out of both. I really like Fear, really like Travis as a character, enjoy, seeing everything they've done with him, especially near the end of the second half of season 2 there. And I'm really excited for Fear this year as well, too. I'm really happy for it. And again, The Walking Dead can't go on forever. The original group can't be there forever. So it's a good thing that AMC is wanting to give us fans more. And again, as Rick above talked about being fandom and being crappy, we should appreciate that AMC's trying. Are they going to be able to top Kirkman's original story? Probably not, but, if they're trying, they're trying. That's fine, right? Davis Fleming says, Trev, got a question for you here. Do you think that the outbreak made Daryl a better person or the other way around? So made him better or worse as a person? Well, how he's handled, the zombie apocalypse, he's done really well. He's protected. He's been a hero in his group. He's protected people he's cared for. So in that capacity, you could say that the zombie apocalypse gave Daryl's life more meaning, and he's become kind of a better person in that way. But also, he's had to kill to protect those he cares about. He almost killed, he was thinking about killing Dwight, and he was saying, I should have killed you. Yeah, you probably should have. So, I'm looking for him to get a bit more vicious, a bit more, but that's the world kind of molding him. So I think there's good and bad depending on which way you look at it. But, overall, I think that Daryl has been one of the most interesting survivors to see throughout the series. It's been a lot of fun. B. Francis Thornhill says, Trev, what is your favorite weapon in The Walking Dead? So Lucille has to be my favorite for sure. I like Rick's Colt in the comic. I like Rick's axe. In the comic, he uses an axe as his kind of main key weapon. Daryl's crossbow is pretty wicked too, but if I had to choose just one, I got to go with Negan's Lucille, the bat for sure. And last one will be from Cigar Nixica, who says, Trev, can you do Rick or Survivor's mistakes video? Things that the group did that they shouldn't have done from season 1 to season 7. Obviously, one is getting captured by Terminus. So hindsight is always 20/20. There's obviously things that they did throughout the series to survive that in hindsight might not have been the best decisions, like maybe going to the CDC and like what else? Well, at least they learned some information from that, though. The stuff with Randall and what Shane wanted to do in hindsight was actually it was immoral. It was bad, but it was, from what we've seen afterwards, maybe the best solution or the best answer to what to do in that situation with Randall. Going on from there, season 3, 4, 5, 6, there's a lot of stuff that's happened, and it'd take a while for me to go through and see, all the different things they did that they probably shouldn't have done. Not going after the governor was another big one. They kind of let it go, and they didn't really go after him in full force, and they probably should have done that. They probably should have sent out everybody looking for the governor because of how dangerous he was. But again, hindsight 20/20, and you could also say like Rick and the group attacking Negan because from our standpoint now, we know how many men Negan has and how foolish that was. From their standpoint, their point of view, they did not know how dangerous the Saviors were. They didn't know how many men Negan actually did have. Had they have known that, things would have been a lot different for sure. Maybe they would have left or something. A lot of questions. So let me know what you guys think about all these questions. Feel free to answer them below yourself. And who would you rather see as a ghost hallucination sequence? Would it be Glenn or would it be Abraham? So for this video today, guys, if you liked it, please thumb it up below. You can also share, you can favorite, and if you're new and you want to subscribe, bottom left to subscribe. So for this one, see you guys again soon. It's Trev saying peace. Later, guys. See ya. Just subscribe somehow.